Greetings everyone. Welcome to CC Gurukul Lectures. I'm Mehak Chawla, art educator, Bharatnatyam dancer and disciple of Guru Srimati Geeta Chandranji. In this lecture, as we continue our exploration of India's rich and diverse regional theatrical traditions, we now move from the folk theatre traditions of North India toward the culturally vibrant and artistically expressive landscape of East India, which introduces us to a theatrical world where performance becomes more musical, symbolic, ritualistic, and emotionally immersive. The regional theatrical tradition of East India hold a distinct place within the larger framework of Indian performing arts. In this region, theatre evolved not merely as entertainment but as an important medium of storytelling, devotion, ritual practice, social communication, and collective cultural expression. Many of these traditions developed within temples, village communities, ritual spaces, festival grounds, and royal courts, making theatre deeply connected with everyday social and spiritual life. Unlike several North Indian traditions that strongly emphasize dialogue oriented narration and epic storytelling, many theatrical practices of Eastern India place greater focus on musical narration, symbolic presentation, expressive movement, devotional atmosphere, visual spectacle, and ritualistic elements. As a result, theatre here often becomes a composite performance tradition where drama, music, movement, ritual, and storytelling merge into a unified artistic experience. The theatrical tradition of this region were shaped by multiple cultural influences including temple and devotional traditions, Vaishnav Bhakti movement, folk storytelling practice, tribal and indigenous cultural systems, martial traditions and ceremonial performances, seasonal festivals and community rituals, oral narratives and mythological traditions. Therefore, each theatrical form reflects not only artistic expression but also the historical, spiritual, and social identity of the region from which it emerged. One of the most remarkable features of Eastern Indian theatre is its extraordinary diversity. Different states and communities developed their own unique performance traditions, shaped by local language, religious belief, social structures, folk aesthetics, and regional customs. Some forms evolved as devotional performances dedicated to deities, while others emerged as community centered folk theatre traditions, ritual enactments, or dramatic storytelling. Practices addressing mythology, morality, heroism, social life, and collective memory. The regional theatrical practices of East India are particularly known for strong musical and vocal tradition, emotional and expressive storytelling, ritualistic and ceremonial performance structures, symbolic presentation, and stylized acting. Elaborate costumes, makeup, and masks community participation and collective viewing traditions, integration of music, dramatic narration, and movement. Also, deep connection with mythology, spirituality, and folk beliefs. Another important aspect of these traditions in their strong, it is their strong visual and performative identity. Theatre in this region often creates highly immersive experiences through expressive gestures, rhythmic movements, live music, dramatic narration, symbolic costumes, and ceremonial presentation. In many traditions, performance itself becomes a sacred or communal act rather than simply a theatrical display. At the same time, despite the diversity of forms across Eastern India, certain shared foundations continue to connect these traditions. Preservation of oral and cultural memory, integration of multiple performing arts into one form, strong links with festivals, rituals, and public gatherings, use of theatre as both education and entertainment purposes, reflection of regional identity and community values. So, as we study these regional theatrical practices in detail, we will gradually observe how theatre in Eastern India develops into a rich and layered performance tradition that is deeply rooted in spirituality, symbolism, collective participation, and artistic expression. Through this journey, we will gain a deeper understanding of how Eastern India contributed to the larger landscape of Indian theatre traditions through its unique blend of devotion, symbolism, musicality, ritual, and dramatic expression. Let us now begin our exploration of the folk and traditional theatre forms of East India with Jatra, one of the most influential and widely recognized theatrical traditions of the region. Originating in Bengal, Jatra evolved from devotional Vaishnava traditions into a vibrant form of folk theatre that combines dramatic storytelling, powerful dialogue, music, singing, and expressive acting. Over centuries, it developed into a popular medium through which communities experience mythology, history, social issues, and contemporary concerns in an engaging and accessible manner. Unlike many formal theatre traditions performed within enclosed auditoriums, Jatra flourished in open public spaces, village grounds, festival venues, and community gatherings, allowing direct interaction between performers and audiences. Its energetic presentation style, emotional intensity, and strong musical foundation made it one of the most effective forms of mass communication and entertainment in Eastern India. Through Jatra, we can observe how theatre functions not only as artistic performance but also as a vehicle for cultural preservation, public education, social reflection, and collective participation. The form beautifully demonstrates the ability of traditional theatre to adapt to changing times while continuing to preserve its regional identity and performative richness. Let us now study Jatra in detail and understand its origin, theme, performance structure, costume, music, song, and enduring cultural significance. So, Jatra is one of the most prominent folk theatre traditions of Eastern India and is primarily associated with the state of West Bengal. The form evolved from devotional Vaishnava tradition that flourished under the influence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the 15th and 16th century, initially centered on religious processions and devotional singing. Jatra gradually developed into a full fledged theatrical tradition incorporating dialogue, music, dramatic action, and elaborate storytelling. Over time, the scope of Jatra expanded beyond religious narratives to include historical stories, social issues, political themes, romantic tales, and contemporary concerns. Today, it remains one of the most popular forms of traditional theatre in Eastern India and continues to attract large rural and urban audiences. The thematic range of Jatra is extremely broad. Some of the common themes include mythological stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Purans, devotional narratives related to Krishna, Ram, and various other deities, historical events and legendary heroes, social reform and moral teachings, patriotism and national consciousness, political and contemporary social issues, family relationships, sacrifice, justice, and human values. The central objective of Jatra is to entertain while simultaneously educating and emotionally engaging audiences through powerful storytelling. Jatra is traditionally performed during religious festivals and temple celebrations, in annual village fairs, which is melas, and during Durga Puja and other regional festivals, community gatherings and cultural programs, seasonal celebrations, and in public events as well. And it is also being performed in the government sponsored cultural festivals and theatre festivals. Many performances are organized as overnight events and attract large audiences from surrounding villages and towns. This theatrical form is being performed by professional Jatra theatre companies and travelling troupes, and we will see both male and female artists participating together in this particular theatre. And earlier, female roles were often portrayed by men, but in today's time it has changed. Women are also participating in this theatre. It includes actors, singers, musicians, narrators, and supporting performers. In the large production, it may involve dozens of artists and technical crew members as well. Jatra performers are known for their powerful voices, expressive acting, and ability to sustain audience engagement for extended periods. If we look at the performance structure, the structure of Jatra is highly dramatic, musical, and audience oriented, usually performed on an open air stage or temporary platforms. Minimal scenery, but maximum emphasis on performance and dialogue delivery. It begins with musical invocation or introductory songs. Narrative unfolds through dramatic scenes, songs, and confrontation. You will see a frequent use of emotional monologues and powerful speeches. And there is a direct audience engagement, which is very common in this theatre. They put strong emphasis on voice projection and theatrical expression, and climactic endings designed to leave a lasting impact on viewers. Unlike many classical theatre traditions, Jatra relies heavily on dramatic intensity, emotional appeal, and vocal performance rather than complex stage machinery. The performances are often energetic, loud, and highly expressive, ensuring that even large outdoor audiences remain engaged throughout the presentation. If we talk about the costumes, costumes are designed to be visually striking so that characters can be immediately recognized by large audiences. If you look at the female character, they wear colorful saris, and many saris may include Bengali saris because it belongs to West Bengal, and there's a character specific makeup, jewelry and ornament. They wore jewelry and ornament as per the character. Also, if we look at the male character, again they dress up according to their character. They also do makeup, they wear crowns if needed, hold props as weapons if required, and that's how they perform. If you look at the music, music forms the backbone of Jatra performances. It is very strong, it has a very strong melodic structure, very emotional and dramatic compositions are there in this theatre, and musical interludes connecting to scenes, you will see that. There is very high energy while delivering it, and the vocal delivery is with very high intensity, and you will see the live accompaniment throughout the performance. In this, the music not only enhances the emotional atmosphere but also helps advance the narratives. And if you look at the songs which are being used in this specific theatre, it plays a central role in this theatre. They include devotional songs, narrative songs explaining events and emotions. They also have patriotic and historical compositions, romantic songs and emotional ballads as well. And there is a character-based musical dialogues. The songs often serve as a bridge between dramatic scenes and help communicate emotions directly to the audience. If you look at the musical instruments which are used in this folk theatre are harmonium, dholak, tabla, khol, cymbals, flute, shehnai, and they also uses other percussion instruments as well. The most distinctive feature of Jatra is its powerful combination of dramatic dialogue, emotional singing and highly expressive acting performed in an open air setting before large audiences. Its larger than life presentation style, direct communication with spectators and energetic delivery make it one of the most engaging folk theatre traditions in India. Jatra has significantly influenced Bengali theatre and cinema. Elements of Jatra's dramatic acting style can be seen in early Bengali films as well. There are numerous Bengali filmmakers which have depicted Jatra troupes and performers in their work. In today's time, theatre groups continue to adapt Jatra narratives for modern audiences also. Television programs and cultural festivals regularly feature Jatra performances, and the tradition remains an important symbol of Bengali folk culture and performing arts heritage. So after studying Jatra, which combines dramatic storytelling, music, powerful dialogue and large-scale public performance, we now move towards another significant theatrical tradition of Eastern India that introduces a stronger devotional foundation and a closer connection with Vaishnav religious philosophy, which takes us from a popular folk theatre designed for mass entertainment and social engagement to a more spiritually oriented dramatic tradition where theatre becomes a medium for religious instruction, devotion, and sacred storytelling. Now we will study Ankiya Naat, the classical devotional theatre tradition of Assam, known for its spiritual themes, symbolic presentation, musical narration, and deep association with Neo-Vaishnav movement of Eastern India. Ankiya Naat is one of the most important traditional theatrical forms of Assam and occupies a special place in the cultural history of Eastern India. The form was introduced and developed in the 15th and 16th centuries by the great Vaishnav saint, scholar, poet, playwright, and social reformer Srimanta Shankaradev. In Assam, Shankaradev used theatre as an effective medium to spread religious teachings, moral values, and devotional philosophy among the masses. Through Ankiya Naat, complex spiritual ideas were presented in a simple and accessible manner, enabling people from different social backgrounds to participate in religious and cultural life. The performances are traditionally staged in Vaishnav monasteries known as satras and community prayer halls called namghar, making the theatre form closely connected with Assam's religious and cultural institutions. The central theme of Ankiya Naat are deeply devotional and spiritual in nature. Some of the common themes include life and deeds of Lord Krishna, stories from the Bhagavad Puran, episodes from Hindu mythology, triumph of good over evil, bhakti, moral and ethical teachings, compassion, righteousness, and spiritual wisdom. The primary objective is to inspire devotion while educating audiences about religious and moral values. Ankiya Naat is performed during religious festivals, Janmashtami celebrations, Vaishnav religious gatherings, temple and satra festivals, cultural and spiritual events, community devotional programs. The performances are often regarded as act of devotion and worship rather than merely theatrical entertainment. If we look at the performers, it is traditionally being performed by male artists, monks, and disciples associated with satras often participate. Contemporary productions may include trained performers from cultural institutions. It includes actors, singers, musicians, and narrators. You will see group performance is an essential characteristics of this tradition. The performers undergo training in acting, music, devotional singing, and traditional movement technique. If we look at the performance structure, the structure of Ankiya Naat is highly organized and follows established devotional performance convention. It begins with ritualistic prayer and invocation, introduction by the Sutradhar, then followed by narratives that unfold through dialogue, song, and dramatic action. strong integration of music and storytelling. And you will also see the use of symbolic gestures and expressive movement when they perform. And there is limited emphasis on realism, greater focus on spiritual communication. Performance progresses in a structured devotional atmosphere. The Sutradhar in this plays a crucial role by introducing scenes, explaining events, guiding the audience to their narrative, and maintaining continuity throughout the performance. The dramatic presentation emphasizes clarity of storytelling, devotional engagement, and moral instruction rather than theatrical spectacle alone. And in our next lecture, we will study about the costumes of this regional theatre. With this, I conclude this lecture. Thank you.